Hello party people, it's me, your future president. So the Olympics are currently happening, but unfortunately I cannot qualify for the Olympics because they're saying that yapping is not an official Olympic sport. But if you've been watching my videos for the past year, you know I'd get the gold every time. And for this video, I'm going to be making my gold medal run again by talking about Ice Spice's latest album, Y2K. See, I've always thought of Ice Spice like an anomaly, you know, like she's kind of like a CIA psyop experiment that's meant to make us like New Yorkers or something, you know? And I mean, she's had an incredible rise in the past 2 years, going from making music videos in alleyways to getting collaborations and cosigns from Nicki Minaj and Taylor Swift and Travis Scott too. But after all this time, we finally get a follow-up project from the rapper, and to absolutely no surprise, it is mid. But then again, no, artists like Ice Spice aren't exactly meant to be taken seriously by music nerds. I mean, it is just mindless club music, so it's like, what all can you really get out of it, you know? So while I am doing a review of this album for this video, I do ask that you take my opinions lightly, because at the end of the day, I'm only looking at this from one very specific perspective, and that's an overly critical one, and not really looking at the bigger picture of who it's actually meant for. So but the Bronx rapper has came back around with the latest project, coming through with 10 tracks, circling at around 23 minutes of runtime, which is absolutely hilarious to me because it definitely feels like this was only made for TikTok audiences. But the high note I will say on this album would have to be Riot on the production, with damn near every single beat here being a certified banger. It's mainly just Ice Spice that kind of brings it down, but as I will explain momentarily, she has somewhat improved on her flow, her cadence, and her energy, but it's still not 100% there. I did like the intro track Fat Butt. I did think it was a banger. I did think the beat was hard. 808 slap. It was fun. It was a good way to rope me in, and honestly exceeded my expectations in comparison to the previous mixtape she dropped like a year ago. And as stated before, she definitely has improved on her rapping ability. Per se, it's mainly just the flow and cadence that has a slight improvement, although it's still not 100%, but it's a lot better than anything I've probably ever heard in her music in like the past 2 years since she's blown up. Because beforehand, her tracks and her features, they used to sound very boring, as if she was just in a studio just sleeping or just reading off of a piece of paper. It sounded very unenergetic and just didn't really give a lot. But I'm glad that there was somebody out there that was able to actually convince her to show a little bit of emotion in her verses. But unfortunately, the people who did tell her to show some emotion also did tell her to continuously keep going for the Cardi flow on some of these tracks, because here we have Papa, which is basically just like the mumble Cardi flow. I wouldn't mind if it just didn't sound so raspy and annoying and just wasn't used over and over and over in multiple tracks. You go from sounding absolutely bored on your songs to now kind of just biting the modern opium flow, and I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. But at the same time, in terms of the track Papa, it is catchy, so I guess it works. As stated before, it's the production on this project that mainly hits for me, and in terms of Papa, it's the hard-hitting 808s, it's the trumpet sounds that mainly catch my attention a lot more, and is more likely the reason why I'll be getting drunk this upcoming Saturday. But then there's the following track, Bitch I'm Packin' with Gunna, which is another Cardi impression. It's a little more raspier, a little bit more annoying. Kinda didn't really feel like dealing with that. The lyricism, of course, she never really had any pin game, but we all know that shit. There was also Gunna featured on this track. His verse was pretty forgettable, but I think he's just giving us a reminder of just the same level of quality of his own recent album that dropped, so whatever, I guess. Like, I get what she was trying to do on this song, but I feel like instead she should have went with the more loud and abrasive tone. I feel like that would have worked a lot more in her favor, and it would have complimented Gunna a bit more. But overall, even with the track Plenty Sun, you know, with the mumble Cardi flow, it's wasting good beats. We are wasting really good beats with just very questionably dull choice for Ice Spice's rapping cadence and flow or whatever, you know. It's not working. But then we get a bit of that pop drill with the following track, Did It First, featuring Central C, which I actually really liked. You know, I thought it was fun, I thought it was catchy, you know. It's good, it's simple, it's not, you know, it's like eating ramen, you know? Central C's verse was short, unsurprisingly. I mean, just look at the runtime of the album, but it was still pretty good, still complimented Ice Spice. If anything, it was better than Ice Spice's verse, but what are you gonna do? But overall, yeah, I thought the song was pretty fun. I think it's a song that most people would enjoy, and probably one of the better songs off the album. But then of course, we have the ultimate sin in rap. We have a poop bar on BB Belt. And I know there was some poop bars before, but you know, when you just hear it right there in the chorus, it's like one of the first things, man. It immediately made me want to just give this album a 0, but I'm forcing my way through it, okay? I'm forcing my way through it. And I'm thick, but I don't gotta waste. And then there's the final track, TTYL, which I guess is her attempt at sounding more hard alongside the traditional New York drill beat. But if I'm being honest, it's not exactly giving. Like, my thing with Ice Spice is I don't see her as this sort of like hard, threatening figure. I can't picture her with like the hard trap sound or the hard drill sound. Like, it just doesn't work. She's more of, I see her more like a TikTok rapper. I see her more like a pop rapper. You know, that's more of her flow. And it's like she gives a lot more energy than she did on any of her tracks on this project, but at the same time, it's still a cadence issue. There's still a flow issue, especially when you're just sounding that loud and very in your face towards the listener. It feels very off. But overall, as stated before, this album is mid. I mean, the production, it was great. I did like a lot of the beats here. But as per usual, the main thing that holds back an Ice Spice song is Ice Spice herself. But at least she has shown some signs of improvement. But still, her pen game, it is embarrassingly, hilariously bad. I don't know who exactly is writing this shit for her. But if it is actually her, I am begging you, Ice Spice, please stop putting poop bars in your song. That's a big rap no-no, whether it be from a supercritical or a non-supercritical standpoint. I really hate poop bars in rap. As for the features, for the most part, they were all kind of forgettable, but still, the best one was probably Central C. He was probably the only one who actually complimented Ice Spice. Gunna, he just felt like he was there, and Travis Scott was also here on the track Shh. But if I'm being honest, Travis Scott gave as much effort as you would expect Travis Scott to give in like the past 2 years with his verses, which is absolutely none at all. Like, I genuinely can't remember the last time Travis Scott has actually given us like a actually good verse. But that's just me. But at the end of the day, you know, as I said before, it's mindless club music that you're just meant to get fucked up to with the ladies at like 1 in the morning, man. And if you don't talk to girls, well, then you're probably one of those people that are complaining in the Reddit comments talking about, bro, who actually listens to this? Like, who gives a shit, dude? You're clearly not getting enough bitches to listen to this. But that's basically my thoughts on the album. Ice Spice, you've shown some improvement, but you still got to work on the pen game. You still just drop the poop bars. I can live with the cadence. Drop the poop bars, please. No more poop bars. That's my thoughts on the album. That's basically the rundown. If you liked it, let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all so much. This has been another Certified Hood Classic. I'll see you next Monday. Peace.
Biológica.